And we are live. Well, welcome to the Kevin Marks Project. This is Kevin, and this is my good buddy and co musician, Sammy, also a fireman and an amazing person. And I just want
Oh,
to say hi to you,
jeez.
Sammy, and welcome.
Thanks, Kevin. How are you?
I'm very good. This is
You good?
probably your third time now, eh?
Yeah, go on about the compliments.
Okay, so he's also very handsome, but not that I can swing that way or
Yeesh.
anything.
I don't know about this haircut that I
Well,
need
the hair
badly.
the hair is kind of apropos for the type of show we're on because it's anything and everything. So, and that's pretty much everything and anything on your head.
Yeah, pretty much. And we're live, so I won't be able to fix all that.
That's okay. You can always put your headband over your hair and push it back, but then you might not have that appeal anymore. You know, you never know. That could be your signature look. You know,
Create like a
certainly,
patent like headset.
yeah. Headset hairdo.
Oh, imagine making millions off that.
Yeah.
Like
Oh, they make millions off all kinds of things, right?
exactly. I was just about to say that.
Uh, so how you doing? How's it been? I haven't seen you in a week.
I'm doing all right. I'm tired. The night shifts start kicking my ass.
Oh, night shifts. I did that for
So
years. It's not easy.
yeah, it's okay. I got one more night shift tonight. And then I'm off for another 4 days. So I look forward to those days off.
All right. Well, I understand your pain totally.
It's okay.
So,
Luckily, I still love what I'm doing.
well, that's the key part. If you love what you're doing, it's not a job.
No, exactly. But when
Sorry.
it takes over your, it comes at a cost a little bit.
Yeah, but what you do is righteous. I have to say. I really respect what you do and all of you guys. I mean, whenever I hear a siren, I get choked up. It's like these guys are on the line. They're putting themselves on the line, and I think that's really cool and very honorable of you. And just
I appreciate
thanking
that.
you and all your buddies at the same time. That yeah, I'm down for what you guys do.
I appreciate it. It's
Takes
fun.
a lot of guts, a lot
Love
of
it.
strength. Yeah, so that's pretty cool. So yeah, so we're working on this new tune, and I have to say I'm really enjoying it. And like I said before, Sammy's my co-musician. He plays the drums. A killer drummer, my style. Anyways, we all have our taste, and he's my type of drummer. And all that to say that I'm looking forward to our next jam.
Yep.
That'd be cool. And just wondering, like, what's on your mind today?
Well, it's on my mind. There's lots of things going on. I'm trying to find the energy to go to work tonight.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Every time we have a scheduled jam going on, like I always try to think, like, how can I make my drumming better than the previous time we jammed? And I think the last track we worked on was challenging, but it had that progressive rock touch to it, which is my favorite. Well, one of my favorites.
Yeah,
I like bands like Rush, obviously, Tool,
yeah.
Porcupine Tree. Those are
I like Porcupine Tree, but
they're so good.
it's true that I was even told your drumming sounded like Tool.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, you've got that.
If I could be 10% of what Ernie Carey is,
Well, 10% is still pretty damn good compared to most people who can't do it. You know what I'm saying?
but I said if I could be, if
Well,
I
you
could
are.
be the 10% of what Ernie Carey is,
Wow.
I'd be making albums and maybe thousands of dollars, no millions.
One always underestimates themselves, and there's people that are as good as that guy probably that can't sell one album. So it's all about a lot of different combinations of things. I've jammed with some great jammers that should be professional. I've jammed with guitarists that should be professional. But and I'm telling you, what you've done with me so far has always been fantastic, and and I've always praised your drumming to everybody else I talk to. So you gotta maybe pull back on the critical side and enjoy your talent.
Well, that's my problem. I'm my worst critic.
Yeah, well,
I
so
think
am
I've
I. I'm a perfectionist, and I don't
yeah, big
always
time.
feel comfortable with what I'm doing. But when it sounds good, it sounds good, and that last song sounded really good. You know.
Well, I trust your judgment for starters, and it's just unfortunately it's who I am. I'm my worst critic. I put a lot of pressure on myself to be perfect, though I've been much better as I'm getting older and supposedly wiser and mature.
Yeah.
But I still have a bit of that bad habit. I think when it comes to performing any sort of talent, I guess, like whatever you want to call it, talent. I know I'm a very good basic drummer. I could carry a beat.
I wouldn't call you basic.
I'm good at keeping time. But then there's times where it's like, how can I be a little bit more creative? And when I can't figure that part out, I hate my life. So I think it's just one of those things where you always come back to, sometimes simplicity is the best thing.
Simplicity is.
I do the same thing, not so much at work, but like I do the same thing at hockey. If I have a bad game, I hate my life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's okay. Some might look at it as a negative. I look at it a bit as a positive because if it could force me to be not just a better person every day, but better whatever craft I have and hold to my heart. If it could make me better next time around, I guess it's a good thing.
I think self-criticism to a point is actually very productive. Self-criticism to the point where you cripple yourself, that's where you have a problem.
Yeah, exactly.
And when you have a talent like you do, the way you play drums, your criticism is only making your drumming better.
Yeah, I guess you could
Because
look at
you
it
are
that way.
already at a foundation, a very, very, very good drummer. And the way you came up with the last song was like pretty genius because I had not thought of that. Like I was thinking in my head what I thought it would sound like, and you started playing something completely different, and it was actually 10 times better than what I imagined I had in my head sounding like. Because we all like as a creator, I envision what's gonna be uh, the end result of the song.
Mm-hmm.
And I know I'm a bit of a control freak when it comes to the direction of my music, but the input you put in was unexpected and actually quite refreshing, which was really cool.
You know what? The more I think about it, and I'm as we're doing this live, I'm playing the track in my head, and I think what's bothering me is that I feel like my drumming is rushing the track a little bit. It's not so much the parts I dislike. I actually like the part, but this. I think there's maybe just one part where I feel like I'm rushing too much, and maybe I'm making the tempo a bit too fast to the point where I'm hearing it, and it's like maybe that fast tempo pace is not the way it should sound.
Yeah.
If the tempo was slightly slower, maybe it would sound better to my ears. I think that's the struggle I'm having right now. But most of the parts I guess I played, like I like them. They're good. But it's just that one sequence of drumming that I'm there. I'm like,
Well, let's listen to it, and you give me your play-by-play as we hear it, and
go for it.
You can enjoy your perspective since you're the creator.
I'm the creator
of the drum parts. Yeah. No, you totally destroyed those drums on the creativity aspect.
Well, this part I like.
The first time you hear it with the bass and the keyboard?
No, I heard the other night.
That's genius.
This is the part that kind of bothers me because I feel like I'm rushing it.
Well, I don't. And neither does
this part's
fine.
He's
a great drummer. He says the same thing. You're right on point.
This part's fine.
I love the snare in this. I love the bass drum.
I think this is the only part that I'm trying to convince myself that's good. I like this part. This part's fine. I like this one too.
Yeah. The rolls are great.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool.
Yeah. And the keyboards are nice in there, eh?
Yeah, they are.
And the bass too is pretty thumping. Jim did the bass and the keyboard.
See, the tempo of this verse, called the verse, is better than the first one.
I don't know. I think it just flows and grows.
So look, at the end of the day, it's just. Yeah, it's just that quote unquote bothers me. The rest of the track I like.
Oh, cool.
so.
When the keyboards give it that depth. It just works.
It has a bit of that Cashmere feel. This part.
Well, there's Tool and Zeppelin mixed in here.
There really is.
Really, yeah. And a little.
I guess you could. The off time called the off timing section has that Tool feel.
Yeah.
This part has a bit of the Cashmere feel, I guess.
Yeah, that big chord sound.
If Jimi Hendrix was on steroids, distortion.
Hey.
What did I say? Jimi Hendrix? Excuse me.
Yeah.
Like I said, I'm tired.
That's okay, dude.
I'm trying to recover.
I'll drink faster. I'll catch up to your mood.
Hendrix, Page, they're all legends.
Two of my biggest influences. The keyboard's got that John Lord sound from Deep Purple.
Yeah. How are they not in the Hall of Fame?
I don't know.
How are they not in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame? That's ridiculous.
You're learning me something. I did not know they weren't in it.
I like how it's just you that takes over this part and just slows down the dynamics.
Drops it down a few.
Yeah.
This part's cool.
Yeah, no, Deep Purple. They're not in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame yet. I don't know.
I did not know that.
I mean, I'll double check this, but I'm pretty sure they're not.
It comes in like a brick wall.
Yeah, it just grabs you by the throat.
Yeah. I love the way you come in here.
Yeah, that's so cool.
So fucking good. I played this for a 22-year-old and he freaked. And he said Tool right away. He said that sounds like Tool and another band, I forget the name of the band.
It's funny because I was listening to a couple of the they're not Tool's new tracks. But the album that came out, their latest album that came out like a couple of years ago, I listened to a couple of tracks from that album, and I think when you sent me the demo of this track, like I was in that Tool mode. mood, whatever you want to call it. So.
There goes the universe. This has a bit of a Zeppelin sound to it.
Yeah, but the dynamics are cool. I have to say.
Screaming guitar with the trail at the end. Very psychedelic. And your drums here are just spot on, man.
I think I just gotta get over it.
You gotta get over it.
I gotta get over it. I gotta move on.
You gotta hold of yourself, buddy.
Yeah. I see what you mean.
So I personally love the performance you did on that. And I'm repeating myself, but I think it's some of the best work you've done. You've done, actually, no, I can't say it's the best because you've done some pretty fucked up shit that I love. But it's the best piece of work we've done together as a collaboration of ideas where you came up with the drums all on your own. You didn't just, jam it out and we used it and it was great and all that. You actually did it. But it was kind of cool. We practiced it, 4 times, and it took 2 takes to get it.
Yeah, we went through it a couple of times, and I think this time around we really put the time to really think our parts and what feels like what should be played this part, and set the dynamic and all that stuff, right? I think it's a track that we really put the time to think about.
Yeah, which is pretty cool.
It came out pretty cool. Yeah. But I enjoyed working on the tracks that your friend sent us.
Those were fun.
Those were really fun. I actually that was fun to work on.
We might get some more. She wants us to listen to all her YouTube videos and give her an opinion on what we're here.
Well, the track that we worked on that sounds a bit that has that no doubt feel.
Yeah,
it's just personally, it's one of my favorites.
I like that one. That's my favorite.
Yeah,
I think that one the best.
That one came out. That one came out pretty cool.
Yeah, I did. Yeah,
and there was another track too. Not the one where she's whispering from start to finish.
No, the other one is I Want to Do It.
Yeah, I think it's that one.
That one's pretty cool.
That one was fun.
Yeah.
No. Recently, I like the creative work that we're putting out there to the universe.
And I think that's what we should continue doing. I like our jams though. I do like freestyle, just because you're very creative when you play along with me. So that I want to continue doing now and then. But I have one song that I'm working on that maybe we can work on tomorrow. It's more raw than this one. This one I was 3 weeks prepared.
Okay.
All the changes you hear and all the different dynamics of the song, I mean, I had to work that out. It took me almost 3 weeks to work that out.
Really?
Or 2 weeks, yeah. It's I have so many versions of that song, you won't believe it. And then the last one that we did, the one that we finally recorded, was just like an aha moment. It's like, oh, what about doing that there? And it just worked,
Yeah.
So it's not over, because most of the stuff we've done together, it's stuff that I just brainstormed on the spot, and it happened to work.
Yep.
But this is not that kind of song. This is a song that has structure and has changes and momentum that varies, and like the slow part in the middle that you were mentioning and all that. These are all different things that don't come out in the jam,
Yeah. You know what? I have to. I gotta get better at not that you keep the first stick, but when you feel like you have the final product, you gotta let it be.
Let it sit there
and let it sit there, let it stew. Don't start thinking, oh, what if I could add this part or add this thing over here, or maybe add this drum fill over here. Like I gotta get better at
more. Less is more.
Yeah, exactly. Less is more.
Mm-hmm.
And this was a call it a bad habit if you want. Back in the days when I was in a band with my buddies and all that. Like every time we'd go home, we would have like a rough draft recording of the song. You would listen to it and be like, oh, something over here would be cool. Oh, a drum fill would be cool there. Like a guitar riff or like some guitar solo type riff would fit really cool over here. But I love having that producer type of mindset. I think it's something I've always wanted to do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I like not to brag, and I say this humbly, but I have a good ear.
Like I could hear the drums on that song before I did, and I thought I created the song, and I had ideas in my head for the drums.
Mm-hmm.
And you came in and did the opposite, and you heard that, and that's what made that song special, because you heard something different than I did, which is the collaboration aspect. So you do have a good ear.
Yeah, it works out well.
Yeah,
we could be like the Lennon McCartney of Hudson.
Didn't they hate each other?
Okay, I'm gonna say this.
Yeah.
Listen. My better half does not bring any sort of threat that Yoko Ono did back in the day. So you don't have anything to worry about.
Okay, so you don't have a Yoko on your hand.
I don't have a Yoko by my side.
Okay, so we're good. We're good.
You know what the funny thing is? Like she knows I jam with you, but she's never seen me play music at all. And I've been with her for oh my god. Like we're going on to 5 years now.
I was gonna say 5, yeah.
Yeah, she's never seen me play drums. I have a keyboard in our storage locker area that I want to bring up here and play. But she's never seen me play. She's never seen me do any sort of music whatsoever.
Well, we have a 3 or 4 song jam on YouTube that you could show her.
I could. I really could. She doesn't even watch my own podcast. My own hockey podcast. That if you could.
Yeah. This is your world.
This is pretty much. If anybody's out there is guessing who's my favorite team.
Yeah. Well, tell whoever's listening your podcast, how they find it, what time, when, and where, and all that.
Yeah, sure. So I co-host a Montreal Canadiens podcast called the Curfew Boys podcast. It started during the pandemic, and hence the name and title of the podcast is self-explanatory. Yeah, so, but earlier you asked me what's been on my mind lately, and this freaking hockey team, and the way they're performing and they're trying to fight for a playoff spot has been on my mind a lot lately. So, and it's just content that I could bring that me and my buddies bring podcast.
Yeah,
it's exciting. It's nerve-wracking. It's all the emotions that I think of bundled into one. And you ask a couple of Italians to express their feelings about their favorite hockey team. When it makes them happy one moment and angry the next.
Yeah.
It gets pretty lively, I guess.
I've been exposed to a lot of Italian culture. My best buddy was Italian. A few others were Italian. A lot of Greek friends. And between the Italians and the Greeks, you guys are very emotional.
We're very competitive amongst each other, too. Yeah. The Italians and the Greeks? Oh, my God.
Yeah, I know that.
It's so fun.
I lived in Chamonix, right? So...
Right. So we listen. A lot of Greek people that I've come across in my life. They're awesome people. They're great. They're just as passionate as us. I say us like, but I find it so funny because I think if you're to ask one or the other, they would say that Greeks are wannabe Italians. But if you ask Greeks, they'd probably say Italians are wannabe Greeks.
Yeah.
It's so funny.
Yeah.
But
That's cool though.
I
As long as it's friendly,
no.
it's cool.
It is friendly. It's I feel like it's an older brother or older cousin type of teasing.
Yeah.
Type of teasing. Yeah, but listen, I gotta go to Greece one day.
Yeah, me too.
It's such a beautiful country. You look at pictures; it doesn't do it justice. Apparently, they have one of the nicest beaches in the world. Like white sand, so soft. Like Italy has nice beaches, but they're not sand. They're pebbles and rocks that hurt you.
Sort of like the lakes in Quebec.
You know what? I have to say,
the lakes in Quebec are either mud or stone. Like the beaches are they're rough, you know. Like, but I prefer a lake than a sandy beach any day.
I have to say,
we have somebody watching right now. Hope you join the chat.
Oh, hello. The province of Quebec is beautiful, though. I have to say, we have many areas that are beautiful. I think we have. Listen, I don't have the numbers in front of me. I don't have the facts, but like God knows how many areas with lakes and chalets and a forested area with mountains and hills.
You know how many lakes we have in Quebec?
I wouldn't be surprised if 5,000
million.
5 million lakes. Jeez. Okay.
And we have the most lakes in the world.
Mm-hmm.
And Ontario has the most water by volume because of the Great Lakes.
That's right, because of Lake Ontario and yeah.
Oh
no, we're lucky. I love going to the that whole Tadoussac area.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of my favorite areas. The whole Gaspésie area is absolutely gorgeous. You know, we have so many mountains that you can hike. It's just awesome.
It's gorgeous.
It's probably nothing like Alberta and BC.
No. Well,
but still,
there's less lakes in BC and Alberta. It's just that there's a lot more mountains.
Yeah, exactly. They're much bigger. Like, I got to make my way out to the West Coast.
Yeah.
One day. But
I was out there twice. My younger adult, well, about your age, a little younger than your age. And I was in Edmonton. I was in Calgary. I went to Jasper Park and Banff, and I also went to Fort McMurray, which is a whole podcast in itself.
Right.
It's a rough town.
I can imagine.
It's a rough town. People go drinking till 4 a.m. and then go in the sand mines at 6. You know, it's a tough town.
Oh, for sure. It sounds very blue collar.
Well, it's an oil town. You know.
Right. Yeah.
It's an oil.
town. That whole western area is on my bucket list.
From out of town.
Well, I bet.
Pretty much, you know, like everybody who works there is pretty much people brought in, and if a lot of the people that go there are trying to get away from the world they know, and it's the Wild West. It's the frontier.
Mm-hmm.
It's really cool.
Well, especially after wasn't there one of the didn't the town catch on fire a couple of years ago?
Yeah, there was a fire.
Yeah. So
it was pretty sad.
When you have to go through that too.
Family, friends that were involved in that I knew that were there.
Yeah, it's never fun to hear.
Yeah, no, Fort McMurray is quite the experience for a young man. I went to a country bar one night, and I wore my David Bowie Aladdin Sane T-shirt.
Okay.
My long hair and a jean jacket or a leather jacket, something like that. And I was surrounded by 6'4" cowboys with 10-gallon hats.
Okay.
Wearing the boots, you know.
Yeah.
I'm standing in the urinal, and here I am. I got David Bowie with makeup on his face and the lightning across his face. You know, like the Aladdin look there.
Yeah.
And the long hair. These are all clean-cut cowboys. They're both one on each side of me. They're both looking down at me like, "What the hell are you doing here?"
Yeah.
And it's the kind of place that people like to fight.
Yeah. No shit.
It's insane. It's insane. The Native Americans, the Aboriginals, and the rockers, the bikers, hang out in the same bar, and they stay on the different sides.
Oh, really?
After midnight or 1 o'clock, they all brawl.
Oh, yeah. After you get a couple of beers in you?
Yeah, once the liquid courage hits its final lethal dose, it's a done deal. But yeah, no, I have nothing bad to say about the place, but it is interesting and very different than in Montreal lifestyle,
Oh, I can
imagine. It's a tough place to be.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. I'm not surprised, actually. Hearing that, it's just when it's probably one of those areas you got to be tough to survive. You got to be tough to work.
Oh yeah,
or else you could get hurt. Maybe even worse.
You're working in the sand fields. It's a dangerous environment.
Oh, exactly. It could be gruesome environments, and the only way to disconnect is probably go to the bar and not to sound like a psychologist here, but God knows what's going on upstairs. You add in some alcohol.
Alcohol is always the devil's playground, eh?
No, that's true. But yeah,
what's in store for tomorrow? We're gonna jam some. We'll do a couple songs and jam, and then I have a new song we can work on just to practice, not to record, like just to maybe put our heads together and make some sense out of it.
But I like that you record everything we do.
Yeah, because it's for posterity,
Yeah, exactly. And there could be times we don't realize it, but there could be some creative genius in there.
Well, I have put some songs together with some of the stuff we did. I've made you hear them.
Yep.
I always make you hear the stuff I do with us.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
that's fun. I like our jam sessions. Makes it's a distraction for many things, especially what's been going on lately.
Oh God,
in the world.
We have a half hour left. If you want to start talking about that, it's going to go fast.
It just sucks.
It just sucks.
It feels so unnecessary.
It's absolutely ridiculous to pick your best neighbor and trading partner and tariff the crap out of them. And now, I mean, Ford is kicking and screaming and fighting.
Yeah, he is.
And we're teaming up with China and Japan and Europe. We might not even need their trade eventually, and that puts them in. Hey, that's what they want, and hey, we're going to go somewhere else, and we're not going to tariff us into the 51st state. That's not
well, I heard China now impose tariffs on Canada.
Yeah, that's a bit. Well, tariffs are both ways, right?
Yeah.
So you got to look at that in a certain way because every country you do trade with, there's going to be tariffs back and forth. That's for sure. But I don't know the details of the China thing with Canada.
No, me neither.
So I couldn't comment on that.
This is my mindset behind all this. It's like it's in our faces every day, every hour, every minute, every second.
It's nonstop.
It's nonstop. It's not good for. I can only speak for myself, but like for that whole mental health thing.
No, it's
subject, whatever. So I choose to stay away from it as best as possible.
Yeah,
but like not that my friends are talking about it, but like mostly colleagues. And you know what? It could sound like I'm ignorant, and yeah, it's important to know what's going on. But I really feel like it's at such an extreme level that it's like I can't be bothered anymore. I don't even want to think about it.
I'm going to back you up on that thought.
Yeah.
It's at the level where we have no control over what's going to happen. Because anything we do on the ground floor level is okay. Yeah, you boycott certain things or you stand up for certain beliefs and all that. But the big machine has such a big plan.
Yeah.
And it's so well orchestrated, and the infrastructure of that plan is so deeply rooted in our society that people don't realize its tentacles.
Yeah.
So it's like saying, "Oh, I'm going to fight the Leviathan,"
Yeah.
It's not going to happen.
No,
the only thing you expect is mercy. That's it.
I think it's come to the point where I'll do the due diligence at my own pace. When it comes time to vote, I'll vote because it's very important.
It has its place right now.
It does, and I have the political party that I'm going to vote for, and I'm not going to divulge into that. I just don't like when people who feel like, and it's like that young adult mindset where it's like, oh, what difference is my vote going to do? It's like, well, no, it can do something despite the possibility of corruption in votes and who gets elected and all that garbage that comes with. At least you did your due diligence and you use your right to vote, in a democratic.
He just opened a whole bunch of can of worms.
Yeah, no, I know. My point in all this is that like I'll go vote, I'll do my due diligence, and then we'll see what happens after that. But because you voted, if you don't like it, you got the right to complain. Those who don't vote and complain,
well,
sorry,
I
have no
point
empathy
of
for
view
that.
on that. I'm of the George Carlin school of thought.
I love George Carlin, by the way.
George Carlin said, the people who don't vote are the only ones that should complain because they're not the ones that put the assholes in there in the first place. And to expand on that, it's like if there's no one to vote for, if they're both wrong, then voting doesn't make a difference because they're both wrong. But if one of them is better than the other and you think it's going to help, well, then you should vote and be responsible and take care of that movement of hoping that this better person gets in there. But if they're both rotten crooks and you don't vote, you have a right to complain because they were both rotten.
Yeah, but I think we're at such extreme levels right now.
Now we're at extremes. Now it's black and white. This has never been like this in our history.
Well, exactly. And I don't disagree with what you're saying, but I feel like we're at such extreme levels right now. Like, let's use the left and the right. That the left is going to look at the right and be like, no way, your person, your guy, or your woman is extremely wrong. That my guy or my lady is better than yours.
Yeah.
So
it's never been so divisive.
1,000%.
It's never been so divided. I mean, I'm 59. I've seen a lot of elections, and usually they're both the same. They say the same thing with a different flavor, different colors, but it's the same thing. But now they're saying complete opposite things.
Yeah.
Now there is a very staunch difference between the two parties, where that before it wasn't. Because I find the liberals were more conservative before, and the conservatives used to be a little more liberal before. But now they're both staunch left and right.
Yeah,
and that makes a big difference in the outcome.
Oh, exactly that. So my point in all this is
either one of us picking a side. This is just pointing out the game field that we're in. You know, the game, the level of the game, the importance. You know, this is not a regular season game where they have a chance to win 5 more, even though they've lost 4. This is the division. This is the Super Bowl of decision making. It's one team wins, one team loses. There is no compromise.
Yeah.
That's where we're at if you compare it to sports. It's not like the NHL where you got 7 games to win.
It's like a 7. Yeah, it's no 7-game series.
No, this is one game, and it's a win or you lose. And we're at that stage in politics right now where there's no more, okay, he won, but not my guy, but he still kind of has some good ideas. And this, no, now it's like he's horrible or he's great.
Yeah.
There's no like, I like him, but no, it's more like I hate him, I want him to die. I mean, you know, I hate this today. I saw a meme today on Facebook where They had a picture of Trump in a coffin and it says "Make America Great Again." I don't care how much you hate him as a politician.
Damn.
How can you wish somebody dead? It's a horrible thing. So that is how extreme the views are. And I'm not picking sides on him or anybody
No.
else. I'm just saying any human being that is wished dead, there's a problem in our society. You know?
I think social media has driven people to that extreme.
Yes.
I blame social media for this.
Yeah, I do too.
I really, because we're exposed to so much information.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know what's false anymore, what's true.
Mm-hmm.
You got Musk that's controlling Twitter, and then you got listen. It's obvious that Musk is on the right, but then you got the left that controls their versions of the media.
It's like Fox and CNN. There's no logic on either side. They're extremists, both of them. They're all
Who's
extremists.
Louis Black, comedian Louis Black. I'll never forget. I think he said the Democrat Party of no ideas, and the Republicans is a Democrat. Oh my God! Excuse me. The Republicans are a party of bad ideas. So Democrats are no ideas. Republicans are bad ideas.
So you lose either way.
Well, that's that. And I think my point, and I'll come back full circle here, is that I'm really trying to stay away from political topics around the world lately.
Mhm.
I have my beliefs. Not my beliefs. This is my opinions. Let's go with my opinions. I'll use the word opinions of what I really think is going on between Canada, US. You want to throw in Russia in there? You want to throw in Ukraine in there? I got my opinions about this whole freaking mess.
It's a big mess.
But at the end of the day, I'm focusing on, I'm focused on my crafts. What are my crafts? Like fighting fires, playing hockey, trying to stay physically and mentally healthy as possible, playing music with you, working out, eating properly. Like that's, I'm really not letting all the political nonsense take over what's important to me at the moment.
Well, I've always been a local person.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I am a Canadian, but I'm actually a Hudsonite.
Right.
Because there's a lot of places in Canada that are not the same as here, and we're not the same as them and all. I'm a local person. I'm not a nationalist. I'm not an internationalist. I'm a local person. And if you get along with the people you live around, that you hang out with, or your family as a group of neighbors, then you've got a good start. But you said something about social media that made me think. Social media today is my generation's fault, Gen Xers, because most people on social media are Gen Xers, and Gen Xers don't give a fuck. First of all, that's our problem, and the second of all,
It's probably better that way.
is we grew up in schoolyards where there was a left and a right. There was the rockers and the disco, and you fell in one of the two categories. So the playground. I mean, maybe not in grade school, but in high school and all that, it was the attitude was you're either one of us or one of them. And now that's what's happening on social media. You're one of us or you're one of them. That mentality comes from the Gen X attitude, and I take blame for that partially.
Okay, I see what you mean. I just I don't know how to explain this. I feel like I don't know if it's Gen Xers or Gen Zs or millennials or what. I don't even know what the
Most
terms
people
are.
on Facebook are Gen Xers.
Okay.
It's the 50-plus-year-olds. Kids don't go on Facebook, and people who go on Facebook that are younger than my generation, are people that are looking for groups, on sports or
Maybe.
games and stuff like that, but they're not part of that scene. Where the scene, I mean, most of the posts I see are from people 50 and up.
I just think there's no sense of conversation anymore.
No, no, you're right.
You say one thing, and the next person can get butthurt or have their hearts broken and their feelings shattered.
Yeah.
Instead of trying to, everything now is all about perception and not perspective. If you could take the time to look at the other person's perspective and disagree with it at the same time, you can be not that you could be a better person, but if you're open-minded to understand the other person's opinion that's very different from yours, man, I think I think society would be better, a lot better, if more people started thinking that way.
Well,
And it's something I'm trying to do. Like I said, I stay away from some shit. I already have to deal with like how politics come into the sports world with this team and the NHL and so on and so forth. And like you see it. We're talking about sports here. Like one guy or one person can make a comment about a certain play, and another person will disagree, but attack that person on a personal level just because they disagree. Dude, we're failing as a society. It's terrible. It's horrible. And again, it's all because of social media.
Yeah.
Social media allowed non-educated people to have a voice.
Not only non-educated people, but gullible people to have a voice.
Oh my God, that too.
I saw a meme yesterday that made me think about the reality of our world today, actually. The guy was looking through a hole in the wall.
Okay. I think I know what you're
saw
talking about.
rain.
Yeah.
And the guy next to him was on a ladder looking over the wall, and there was a pipe that was broken
Yeah,
in front of the hole in the wall.
1,000%.
And that's what we're living in. Most people are
1,000%.
looking through the hole in the wall.
Yeah.
And they're saying, you can't convince me otherwise. It's raining. You're wrong.
Well,
but nobody's
what does that image
over the wall.
What does that image tell?
Well,
Small
people
hole.
are gullible. Small hole is a small perception. Right?
I gotta get my mind out of the gutter on that one.
I saved you on that one.
It's the perfect definition of being narrow-minded.
Exactly.
Think about it. That's exactly what that is.
Yeah, exactly.
It's people have a hard time looking at the bigger picture.
Nobody
just because
at the big picture.
In that specific moment, their emotions are shattered, their feelings are hurt, and logic goes out the door.
Everybody has feelings.
Oh my God, It's I don't know if I'm becoming at the age of 36 a grumpy old Italian.
Well,
like screw your feelings, push it down. You know what I mean? Like there's I can only speak for myself here, and anybody that or any man out there that could be a lot more emotional than usual. I got no problem with it. You do you, but I have no problem with that. It's not who I am and how I react.
Yeah,
like I take the Bill Burr approach. Push it down until your head explodes.
Well, one of my good buddies at work, who unfortunately passed away young, he goes, "You got problems as a man. You write it down on a piece of paper. You crunch it up. You swallow it, and you pour beer on top of it."
No, look, I kid around because especially in my profession, in any emergency responding units, services, whatever you want to call it, lately, like post-traumatic stress and mental health have been taking lives of those in service. Like my God, I think within the last, give or take, since the pandemic, I don't know how many cops in Quebec committed suicide. Firefighters have committed suicide. I don't know. I don't know what the stats are for paramedics, but I know there's been a lot of cops and there's been a lot of firefighters. Pardon me?
First responders in general.
Exactly. And a lot of them were men. Mm-hmm. And that I think that's why we're emphasizing the importance now more than ever. Like it's okay to be vulnerable. It's okay to talk about your feelings, especially when you go through a traumatic experience. We're at a time and era that like it's good. It's good to talk. Sometimes you have to talk.
I come from a different generation. I come from the drink it down and bury it kind of generation.
Yeah.
And I don't have a problem talking about my feelings, but I'm very, very specific who I tell them to. Because you tell
and I
the
think
wrong
that's very
person,
important.
It's
yes. I agree with you 1,000%. For me, when it comes to the time that I need to get shit out, I have a select few people.
Yeah.
My better half, she's good at listening. She's very good at being compassionate. She's got that mother nature nurture and protect type of deal. So like she's great at that. And I don't reveal much about my feelings to her, but a couple of times when I felt like I had to, like I know I could approach her. You know what I mean? There's it's sad to say, but you see videos, very, very minor cases where, unfortunately, a man kind of opens up to his woman, and she sort of uses it against him.
Yeah.
And then there's that whole meme that comes out. Well, then you wonder why men don't open up to some women. So I'm very, very grateful and thankful that I don't have a partner. I say this now that I realize it. If she was that type of partner or person, I wouldn't be with her. Exactly. So no. It's we're living in a seriously different time and era.
Yeah. I agree.
No, it's nuts. It's nuts.
Yeah.
There's one thing I want to mention that like I feel like I had to say something. It brought in politics with my favorite sports of hockey. And when they had the Four Nations tournament, they had Canada, USA, Finland, and Sweden.
Mm-hmm.
And that tournament started just as USA was imposing the tariffs on Canada, calling us the 51st state, blah, 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 blah. And so it was going around everywhere that when an American team was playing in a Canadian city, well, the crowd would start booing the American national anthem.
Which is horrible.
I'm against that.
It's horrible.
I'm against
a country. This is about a person, not about a country.
Yeah, exactly.
It's about one man's ideology. It's not about a country that we've been friends with for 200 some odd years.
Yeah.
And we've had a great relationship with that. A lot of us share families across the border and friends. I have lots of friends in the States, and I lived there for a while.
Yeah.
And to boo somebody's national anthem, you're booing the people, not the government.
Yeah.
That's wrong.
And if you were to ask most Canadians their thought process behind booing the American national anthem, they would say they are booing the government and not the country and its citizens.
But that's not the perception of most people.
But 1,000%, right? And you ask some Americans, they actually understand. It's like, we have a president that's threatening your country's freedom, for lack of a better term here. Mm-hmm. Some of them get it. The way I look at it is if you look at and you listen to most national anthems across the world, it celebrates that country's independence, but it came with a cost.
A big
And
cost, yeah.
God knows how many thousands, hundreds of thousands, maybe millions of people bled for that country's independence.
Exactly.
And it's put into the national anthem. So the way I look at it is I think Canada and America were allies in a few wars.
All the wars.
We bled together, we died together. And I have major respect for military, American military, Canadian military. So for me, booing the national anthem is you're booing those that are serving the country.
Yeah, I agree.
And all that to say is like, yeah, I don't like what's going on. So my form of protest, if you want to call it, when I was at those, when I was like recently, I've gone to like 2-3 hockey games against American teams. And yeah, the crowd would start booing a little bit, it would stop, and then at the end of it, a little bit more booing. My form of protest would be like, just stay silent. I'm still standing.
Yeah,
I would always sing the national anthem with the Canadian one. This time around, that's like my form of again protest. I just don't sing it, but I won't boo it. I would never think of booing it.
Smart. That's smart. I was very upset when I heard that, and I found it very emotional for me to see that happen, because I did live in the States. I did, pledge allegiance in the morning at school and all that stuff. And and I have a connection. So it's the
so I can only imagine
you're disrespecting. It's not the government, and that's sad, because it's the government doing this, not the people.
No, exactly.
And I want this to happen.
And that game, Canada versus USA, it was more than just a hockey game.
Oh, God,
it was insane.
Yeah,
like there was so much political background of that game, that final game. And to like again, I'm not shitting on America. I'm not shitting on their players. They have a great team. They have fantastic players. Like there's a couple players on that team that I wish were playing for the Montreal Canadiens. But to kind of do it on their home turf was sweet justice a little bit. Because that game against USA in Montreal, as much as there was political baggage behind it, it did so much wonders for the game of hockey.
Yeah.
Like, and what did it take? It took 3 fights within 50 seconds of the start of the game.
Yeah, that part discouraged me, but I understand. I hockey fan.
I like the fighting in the games, but it brought a whole new set of fans that suddenly liked and respect the sport, because you think it's best on best, and people are watching this. They're like, my God, like these guys are actually fighting at the highest competition level ever.
Yeah,
like it put the NBA to shame.
Yeah,
like it really did. So, like again, it sucks that it took this to bring in a new set of fans.
Yeah,
but the way I see it is, out of something negative, hopefully something positive came out of it, and it brought in new fans to the game of hockey.
Yeah,
and that's what I want.
Well, I watched a bit of that game. It was good hockey. I used to be a big hockey fan. I gotta admit, I stopped when I traded Guy Lafleur, because that really broke my heart.
Oh, jeez.
And but aside from that being the funny part, I find the fighting just got to be too much. I don't like fighting, and sports, it's even less appealing to me. I mean, look at football. These guys clobber each other, 300-pound men running, slamming into each other, and they help each other up. That's the way sports should be,
Yeah, but again, the best thing about hockey is that fighting is part of the game. There's no other sport on this planet,
and that's why I don't like it. Exactly,
it's insane. It's insane. No, you know what? There's that whole debate about fighting in hockey, and I understand why people don't like it, but there's a lot more to it than people think. The reason why there's fighting is because somebody somewhere did something. It could have been a dirty play to your star player, or
I get that.
So and especially when the refs don't make the call, when refs don't call penalties, well then the players feel like they got to police the game at this point on. Yeah, there's that part I like. The one part I dislike about fighting is that there's guys that really want to make the NHL, and they feel like the only way they have to or they can make the NHL is by dropping the gloves and fighting, and they'll only play like 5-10 minutes a game just to show that, like, listen, I'm willing to do anything for my teammates. And as much as I love and respect that, like, I find that it kind of sucks for that player. The only way for him to make it to the show is that he has to drop the gloves.
Yeah.
Like that part to me, like, I don't like as much, but no, overall, man, it was just nuts how a big political topic was brought into the game of hockey, and that it's unfortunate that it took that. And like the Olympics next year, when Canada meets the USA again, it's going to be another dog fight.
Yeah, well, let's see where we're at by then, you know.
Well, but that's exactly, we'll see where we're at, and hopefully
things are going to get a little less, complicated by then. But
we'll see.
Well, my friend, you've reached your hour, and I know you have a busy day.
Yeah, this was fun.
Yeah, it was great. I always enjoy conversations.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I guess I'll see you tomorrow.
I will see you tomorrow there, buddy.
1 o'clock?
I'll bring 1 o'clock, and I'll bring my Danny Carey talents to the table.
Okay. No, bring your Sammy talents, because that's all the broad spectrum from bottom to everybody.
Sounds good. I'll bring every drummer that's influenced me in my life, from bottom to Pert to Danny Carey to Mitch Mitchell.
Yeah,
I'll try to bring him too.
Sounds like a plan, man.
Sounds good, bud.
All right, thanks for joining me, and we'll do this again.
No problem, Kev. I'll see you then.
Take care, man.
Bye now.
And for everybody else, thanks for joining, and see you soon.